Hello friends, today we are going to work on our first React application. That should be the favorite one, like the hello world. Alright, so we will do that using Visual Studio Code. So I have my Visual Studio Code installed here. Before going ahead with React, we need to have Node.js installed on our system. So to get that, you need to type in Node.js install on your Google and then select the first option from there. And from there we tap on this node. That's the logo, and it takes us to a screen where it has a download button. We tap on that one and it will show us the dialog where it wants to select wants to download the Node.js installer file, and you have to save this and install that. Once you have this Node.js installed, I already have it, so I won't go further with this one. In order to check whether it has properly installed or not, you need to open your command prompt like the cmd from your search bar, and then here you should have node-v, node minus v, and that should show me like what's the node version that I have. You can also, if you have an old version, you can also update that. Once you type in the -v, it will show you an option to update your node version to the latest one. It will give you the command to copy and paste it and just press enter. So now that we have node installed on our system, this one can also show me like what version of React also I have. And to check that one, I would type in npm space react and space version, and that will show me the version of React that I have on my system. So this comes along. Oh, did I type in wrong? Oh, I'm sorry. There was a view. npm view React version. This one takes a few seconds and it shows me that 18.3.1. Okay, so that's the version of React that comes along with Node.js. Okay, with the Node.js installed. Now we want to check, create an app and see how we create that using the Visual Studio. So let's first of all um, create a folder wherein we can save our work. So for that, I will have a new folder, or let me check if I have a practice folder. Perfect, okay. I have a practice JS. All right, let's create a new folder here and let's name it practice React. And from here, I would go to cmd. That opens a command prompt from that location. And here, I would start creating the React application. So in order to create a React application, we need to type in the command npx create -react -app, and let's say hello world, and press enter. This is going to create my application hello world inside the expected folder. Okay, need to install the following packages. All right, it's going to install the following packages inside that folder, and that's going to create my application. Perfect. So we press a Y, and that's creating the required application at the desired location. All right, let's wait a few more seconds. Okay, now it's created. So we have the hello world folder created inside our desired location at the background. Yeah, the background, you can see that inside the folder we have this hello world. And still busy creating the application, installing a couple of more packages. It takes some time to create the application. And once it creates the application, we will hit the Visual Studio from that location directly. All right. You can see that it has completed setting up the project, and now at the end of those lines, you would see a happy hacking message, and um, the the cursor would be pointing back to your folder's location and the application location. All right. So um, when we look at the folder here, you will see that we have project the Hello World already there. And when you open that one, you would see that all your project files are there. All right, now I want to go to Visual Studio from here. What do we do? Well, we already have the command prompt, which is pointing to the location of our project. You just need to add the CD, your project name, so that we have the current folder in place. Okay, we went there. Now you have to type in code space dot. Okay. If this gives you an error message instead of opening Visual Studio Code on your um, system, that means it needs an additional setup, which is readily available on the Google if you try to find out how to open Visual Studio Code from command prompt. That will guide you through, and you will go through a certain steps and to enable that from your environment settings on your computers, and that will open up Visual Studio from command prompt wherever you type in code dot. Okay, code space dot. Now we can see that our project is open in Visual Studio Code, and if we open this src, we find this index.js, which is um, the entry point of any React application. Here it's showing that const root equals to react dom.create root and document.get element id by root, and that's rendering the root um, file from here. And which one is the file? It's calling app.js here, this one. So this is the default page for a React's application. Okay, so what is it returning? It's returning an HTML code from this function. Okay, so by default, React um, functions, they return HTML. They can also return script, JavaScript. They can also return CSS and HTML. So here we are returning HTML. All right. Now let's run this application and see what it shows up on the browser. We need to open the terminal, a new terminal. Okay, this takes a few seconds on my system to show up. By default, it's opening up in PowerShell, which is PWSH. If you don't have PowerShell, it will show up Node or just the command prompt. Right now that it has came up, um, we need to type in npm start. Yeah, it's probably doing something. No, it's not. Okay. Npm start and press enter. That will run few commands again. This will debug the application, and it will launch the application in your browser, showing up the default page for React application. It opened up on the port 3000, which is uh, reserved for React, but you can change that in your uh, package JSON and look up in their package log JSON. Okay, we will check that up and you will see there. Perfect. So this is the first home page of a React application with a React logo in it and the edit src app.js, a message, and learn React link on it. So what if we want to change this thing to our personal message? We will go to the same script here, which is returning the HTML, and it has this imgsrc logo. So here you can make your changes, and those changes will reflect on your browser. If I have to remove these things from the header is the one that is called up. So we will have the header here. We will not remove the header. If we go to index.js, it's calling up app, and there's a port setup. I was looking up which port it's setting up. The 3000 port, if it's set up somewhere here. We'll do a control F to find 3000. Not this one, not this one, not this one, not this one. No. Okay, it is done somewhere. The port, okay, here you can see that it's showing up localhost. I will show that to you where we change the default port for the React application in a further video. All right, so now let's check out the changes here. So we are going to remove this img learn React, and I would place in here my first React program. All right, it's auto saved here, so the warning is already done. Okay, it's saying that logo is not used, so I just remove that. Perfect, compilation is complete. Now if we go back to the browser, you see the message has changed here. Okay, perfect. So that's how you run your first React application. Now that we have our React application running here on the browser, we need to stop that. So for that one, we need to go back to the terminal, and we will see where it's showing up the Webpack compiled successfully and it's running. There we press in Control C. Once you press Control C or Control Q, it will show up a warning that do you want to terminate the batch job. So we press a Y, and that's going to stop the application. Yep, that's terminated. Once you hit back to the folder location on the command prompt, that stopped. So even if it's showing up here, it's already stopped from the back. And if I do a refresh, that will show me that it has already stopped and it will not work. Okay, so that was all about this video about your first React setup. We will have a few more videos coming in. Until then, stay tuned, stay connected, and happy coding.